The bill seeks to authorize the issue out of the Rivers State Consolidated Revenue Fund the total sum of 1.481 trillion, that's 1,481 billion naira only for the year ending on the 31st day of December 2025. Mr. President, distinguished colleagues, you may wish to recall that Rivers State is currently under emergency rule, which was proclaimed and duly gazetted and approved by the National Assembly in March of 2025. Regulation 4.2 sub F of the Emergency Rule 2025 requires authorization for expenditure from the consolidated revenue of Rivers State for its activities. The budget submission follows the declaration of emergency rule in Rivers State by President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, GCFR, on March 18, 2025, and the subsequent nullification of the state's 2025 budget by the Supreme Court. Mr. President, my highly respected and distinguished colleagues, we are today called upon by history to play our role as distinguished senators of the Federal Republic of Nigeria and as statesmen to perform our constitutional duty in the absence of the Rivers State House of Assembly to approve the budget proposal for the emergency rule for government of Rivers State. This budget is specifically for the emergency rule government of Rivers State aimed at providing essential services such as 1. Infrastructure development, over 324 billion naira allocated for road projects and public transportation upgrades. 2. Agriculture, nearly 32 billion naira earmarked for agricultural transformation to boost youth engagement in farming. 3. Education, over 75.6 billion naira is allocated for improving learning environments and ensuring access to free basic education. 4. Healthcare, 166.5 billion naira, amounting to 14.4% of the budget, is set aside for major healthcare projects, including completing zonal hospitals and general hospitals. 5. Youth empowerment, approximately 6.2 billion naira is being allocated for digital resource centers, sports development, and finally, women affairs, where a sum of 5.2 billion naira is earmarked for social inclusion. It is important, distinguished colleagues, above all, to note that the spending plan prioritizes investment in critical sectors of the state, such as infrastructure, health, including free drugs for malaria and other common ailments, education, and also agriculture, which is projected to generate approximately 6,000 jobs. Mr. President, very distinguished colleagues, the budget aims to promote inclusive growth and development with a focus on sustainable economic expansion and improved living conditions for residents, with funding sources from Federal Allocation Committee allocations, internally generated revenue, statutory allocations, mineral funds, VAT, and reforms. This budget is designed to stabilize the state, restore critical services, and improve livelihoods. I therefore urge my dear colleagues to support the second reading of this bill. I thank you, Mr. President, and distinguished colleagues.
The way the request is presented in the National Assembly is something that the administration should be commended for, because the request contains the source of funds that are going to be utilized to fund the activities as outlined in the request. This is quite in order, and what it did is quite in order. And the content is self-explanatory. very much well articulated and direct to the point. Because clearly the source of funds are made available, are stated here, as well as the items to be funded are also stated. These are items that are critical to the development of the state. Very critical, very important. Therefore, because of the nature, the well-articulated nature of the request, because it's very direct to the point, there's nothing that ambiguous here, and very clear. I urge my colleagues to give our note so that the request will be treated expeditiously, so that the people of Rivers State will have the benefit of what is stated here, so that they can, the administrator will go straight away to begin to work for the development of the state.
I don't know the name in which the budget was christened, but from the brief submission of the leader of the Senate, it's clear that this document before us is something that a lot of effort has been put into it to ensure that the people of Rivers State can continue to feel the presence of governance in the state. And by my own rough estimate, I observe that more than 35 or 40% of this budget is on infrastructure, as highlighted by the leader of the Senate, with 324 billion being allocated to infrastructural development and 32 billion allotted to agriculture and 75.6 billion allotted to education and 166 billion allotted to health care. Mr. President, it's a clear indication that this is a serious document, and I want to implore that when the committee will sit to consider this document, they should also place emphasis on what constitute the recurrent expenditure of overhead and personnel, because according to the document, the budget is aimed at creating additional 6,000 jobs for the people of Rivers State. And if such document, if all that is contained is in that document, it shows that this is one document that we should allow to have an expeditious passage by this Senate.
A bill for an act to authorize the issuance from the Consolidated Revenue Fund of Rivers State, the total sum of 1,380,662,592,442 naira only, of which 120,809,305,000 naira, 904 naira only is for debt services. The sum of 288,727,327,373 naira only is for recurrent non-debt expenditure, while the sum of 1,070,250,859,164 naira only is for capital expenditure for the year ending 31st day of December 2025 and for related matters, second reading taken. The bill is now committed to the Special Ad Hoc Committee to supervise the activities of the interim administrator of Rivers State and to revert to the Senate in 2 weeks. 2 weeks.